Hey, it's Mike from Wagner Subaru. How are ya? Thanks for joining us today. I want to talk about the features that make Subaru unique in the marketplace. It's part of what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Every vehicle that we manufacture uses a horizontally opposed engine. We call them flat fours. We used to have a flat six, but now everything's a flat four. So let's take a look under the hood and I'll tell you why that's an important design feature. And we'll look at the 2021 Ascent here. And this features, it was new for 2019, so this is a 2021 model year. We've had it for 3 years. It's actually also available in the Legacy XT and the Outback XT, and you remember we did an Outback XT touring review earlier in the series. But if you look at the Subaru design for the motor and where it sits in the engine compartment, you can see that it's very low and it's centered. The motor actually has pistons that are configured flat. So they move back and forth as opposed to a V configuration where they'd move in a V motion, or even an inline where they would move up and down. So what that does is it gives our motor the ability to be mounted very low in the engine compartment. And that leads to a low overall center of gravity for every one of our vehicles. I'm gonna walk around to the side here and show you, no matter which SUV that you're looking at from Subaru, they all have 8.7 inches of ground clearance. That means the Crosstrek, the Forester, the Outback, and the Ascent are all the same height off of the ground. But if you take a look from the side and look into the engine compartment, you can clearly see that this motor sits very, very low. That's why if you're driving a Subaru, and if you've test driven one, or even if you own one, you'll know that this is true. If you're going around a ramp to get on the highway or coming off the highway at speed, as you go into the corner, a lot of SUVs will lean. Subarus stay very, very flat, and that's because the engine is mounted very low in the engine compartment and we have such a low center of gravity. Now, the other unique thing to Subaru is we have symmetrical all-wheel drive. What that means is if we were to cut the car in half and break it in two pieces, the drive shafts that are on the right side of the vehicle will match the length of the drive shafts on the left side of the vehicle. So that means the car is very, very well balanced side to side, and when you hit the accelerator, you're putting power to both the left and the right wheel in equal measure. That's very, very important, especially when we transition from a beautiful sunny day like today to rain or snow. So making sure that you're getting the power down equally to the right and the left side of the vehicle is very critical. That keeps the car stable from at any point during acceleration. And of course, as you know, we have a lot of safety systems that should you get into a situation where you may be experiencing some slippage, we can counteract that and help. But just a quick overview of some of the design and engineering features that go into a Subaru and what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Now, let's talk a little bit about the motor. This, as we said, was a new motor that was designed to go into the Ascent in 2019. It's a horizontally opposed four-cylinder motor with a turbo. It has 260 horsepower, but 277 foot-pounds of torque. And when you get it in the configuration of a Touring or a Limited or a Premium, this Ascent is capable of towing up to 5,000 pounds, which is really, really excellent towing capability for a vehicle this size. The Ascent is our three-row, it's our only three-row vehicle, and it's available in a 7-passenger, which is what we'll look at today, or an 8-passenger configuration. The 8-passenger will have a bench as the second row. The 7-passenger has captain's chairs, and we'll talk about the seating here in a minute. But this motor is very powerful, very responsive, and when you drive an Ascent, you're behind the wheel, the acceleration is effortless, and of course with the low center of gravity and the quick response of the electric power steering, it's a very nimble feeling car. It really doesn't feel like you're driving a three-row SUV. It feels very similar to driving an Outback, which is a nice feature. So, all right, well, let's take a walk around and look at some of the design elements and show you some of the features of the 2021 Touring Ascent. It's a 20-inch aluminum alloy wheel right there. That is one of the most beautiful wheels I've ever seen. aero design. Specific to the Touring are the satin finish side view mirrors, and then the chrome finish door handles. Again, these are unique to the Touring model. Working our way around to the back, you can see there's nice chrome trim on the rocker panel. This vehicle in the Touring trim level does have the reverse automatic braking, the rear cross traffic alert. Those features are standard on the Touring. Once you shift into reverse, you get a rear camera view in the dash, and that will activate the blind spot detection system and the sensors, the rear reverse auto sensors, and anything that crosses the path of the vehicle. If you're backing out of a spot and you can't see and there are cars or pedestrians moving behind you across your path, it'll alert you. And of course, the reverse automatic braking will come into play if one of those vehicles or people stop, or if there's an obstacle that's stationary behind you and you don't react in time, it will stop the vehicle for you. So, a very nice feature. And that's of course available on most Subaru models as well. This configuration, we've got all 3 rows ready for seating, and you can see that cargo space is at a minimum when we're in this configuration, but we do have the ability to have a 3rd row of passengers. Now, if we want to expand cargo space and we're not going to have people sitting back here, you simply pull up on these straps and fold the seats down. This comes with a really nice rear seat back protectors. You can see that extends the rubberized protection all the way up. So if you have cargo that you're putting in, taking out, you won't damage the back of the seats. It's a very nice feature. And you can see we've got the 3rd row seat belts stowed here, so everything's out of the way and it's ready to accommodate cargo. And if we get to a situation where we aren't going to haul cargo, but we're going to haul people, if we want to bring these seats back up, we simply pull on this strap, lift here, adjust to where we would like to have the seat back position. Do the same over here. And now we're ready for people. We talked a little bit about this when we did the walk around on the Outback. You've got the 2 buttons here for the power automatic rear gate. One to open and close, the other with a lock symbol. So if we were finished with the car for the moment, we wanted to go back into the house or wherever and lock up, all we do is press 1 button. The rear hatch will close and lock all the doors for us. So sort of a press and walk away and forget. So very nice feature. Okay, let's look at the interior space of the Ascent, and this is where we'll show you how big this vehicle actually is.
This is 8.7 inches of ground clearance. You think I can fit under here? I don't know if I can get under this thing.
So now you're looking at the interior of the 2021 Ascent Touring. Something that I want to point out, and this is the first year this is available, this Touring actually has the slate black leather with silver stitching, and that is the first time it's available in the Touring trim level. Normally these cars in 2019 and 2020 all shipped with Java brown leather interior. So new for 2021 is the ability to choose certain exterior colors and match them with the slate black leather interior with silver stitching. I also want to point out there's a cup holder here, cup holder here. Throughout the vehicle there are plenty of cup holders. In fact, there are cup holders here. So the Ascent has 19 total cup holders. In case you've got a lot of people you want to be driving around and they get thirsty, there's plenty of room for everybody to store their drinks. This configuration is the captain's chair, so this is a 7-passenger Ascent, and we do have nice features on the seating here in the 2nd row, fold down armrests, and of course the latch safety system. So if we're going to put children's car seats in here, we have anchor points that are in the seat itself, so you can connect your car seat and know that you're secure and safe. Got plenty of room in here. So I'm 6'2", fit comfortably back here with no problem. I'm going to show you how we can also access the 3rd row, and again, I'm 6'2" and I can fit back there as well. So let's take a look at that. We can of course adjust where the seat is position-wise for The passengers in this row, depending on how long their legs are, we can fold the seat down and move it forward. And this is how I will access the third row. I'm going to lift up my headrest, incline my seat a little bit. And here I am, 6'2", probably not going to go to Florida back here the whole trip, but certainly for a 2-3 hour drive, no problem. And what's really nice with the 7-passenger configuration, I can of course put my legs and feet up in the center here, so very comfortable. Lots of room for folks back here. So, also an interesting design feature, you can see I've got my hands on these grab handles, and these were patterned after a design taken from the subway systems in Japan. So these are nice for leverage, so if we want to get in and out easy, move back and forth between the 2 rows, we can do that. A couple of other things we want to point out, you do have rear climate control and rear heated seats. Controls are all here. We have 2 USB ports back here. So if any of your passengers want to connect and charge their mobile devices, they can certainly do that. This specific Ascent has the AC 120 volt 100 watt power adapter, so you can literally plug something in there, which is a very nice feature. So lots of creature comforts in the back of the Ascent. Another thing that's available in the Ascent, and it's also available in some of our other models, the Outback and so forth, is you have the ability to subscribe to 5G wireless and make the vehicle a Wi-Fi hotspot. So you can have multiple folks with devices that can be connected with a Wi-Fi connection to the vehicle, and the vehicle then uses 5G connectivity to cell service, and then you can have a lot of internet streaming going on while you're traveling. Let's take a look at the 2021 Ascent interior controls. So we've got a panel here with some controls for raising and lowering the rear hatch. The nice feature here where we have a one-touch button to illuminate all of the interior lights with the press of one button for ease of viewing things in the vehicle at night. If somebody says, oh, I dropped my book or my iPad or my iPhone, you just press this button and all the lights come on, and then press it again, they all go out. Next to that, we have the memory height button. So again, you can control how high the rear hatch will open. Next to that, we have your instrument panel brightness, so you can dim or brighten your interior instrument panel. Vehicle dynamic control, so we have the ability to turn traction stability control off if we need to. Next to that, we have the blind spot detection override. So if for some reason you find the blind spot detection illumination to be distracting, you can turn that off. And those are all your controls over here on this panel.
Still right there.
Oh, geez, come on.
Okay, let's take a look at the interior features of the Ascent. It's important to point out that the infotainment stack in the Ascent is unique to the Ascent, so it doesn't share design features too much with the Outback or with the Forester. It's unique. Of course, we have the touchscreen that's standard, and on the Touring you have navigation that's standard. Harman Kardon upgraded audio is standard as well. So a lot of the features that you would have to add as additional trim level packages on the Limited or even the Premium all come standard on the Touring. We have a really nice information display that is under the hood here of the top of the center stack, and that gives you a lot of information. In this case, all of our safety systems are illuminated that are currently active. The only ones that aren't are reverse automatic braking, because we're not in reverse, and the automatic high beam assist, because it's not nighttime and we don't have the high beam set. Another feature that's very nice that's on the Touring trim level is automatic rain sensing wipers. So once you set the stalk to auto, then as you're driving along, any moisture that's encountered that is in the form of precipitation, whether it's rain or snow, will trigger the wipers to come on automatically, which is a very nice feature. So, and of course we can scroll through lots of information on this screen here. And then down below We have everything for navigation, audio system, phone, media, My Subaru and Subaru Starlink. My Subaru and Subaru Starlink are great features. They are apps that can be downloaded to your phone. It started with the Ascent, but subscribing to the Subaru Starlink program and downloading the apps on your mobile phone, you can actually remotely start your vehicle using cell connectivity. So even if you're coming off of a plane on the way back from a trip and your car is parked in the parking lot at the airport, if it happens to be a hot summer day, you can start your car and set your air conditioning to run, cool the vehicle down, so when you get to it, it's nice and cool and ready to go. You can also set up boundary alerts if you have younger drivers in the family and you want to confine them to a geographic area and be alerted if they cross that boundary. It will do that, sending you a message to your phone. Same thing for speed. If somebody exceeds the speed that you've set, it'll alert you. And then a curfew alert as well. So if they're out past when you'd like to have them driving, it will notify you. So very nice features with Starlink. A lot of other capability there as well, but those are great. Climate control, again, unique to the Ascent. We're using dials to control our temperature and our fan speed. And of course, we have dual zone climate control available, fully automatic climate control. So once we press this and go to full auto, all we have to do is control the temperature. The vehicle will take care of the rest, sourcing the air, top or bottom, by level, and then controlling the fan to keep the car at the temperature that we set. You can turn the rear air on and off up front. You can also lock the rear air control, so little hands can't make adjustments if you don't want them to. And we have heated seats, standard. Standard on the Touring are also ventilated seats. So if it gets to be warm in the summer and you want to have some airflow, you can turn the ventilation system on for the seats themselves. And then of course the standard, what we used to call the all-weather package, but with a touch of a single button we can turn on the rear defogger defroster, side view mirror defogger de-icer, and then there's a wiper blade de-icer element as well that will heat up underneath the wiper blades and melt any frozen ice that would lock the blades to the glass. So you can take those up and clear that area out before you get going. A couple of other features. The Ascent does come standard with X mode, which is very nice low speed traction control mode and a hill descent mode. So the car has the gyroscope that detects what angle the car is positioned on, and if it detects that you're going downhill, it will literally walk the vehicle down the hill, giving individual brake capability to each wheel to make sure that the vehicle doesn't lock up and start sliding. So a very nice feature for people that are going to take this vehicle off-road. The other nice feature is what we call AVH, Auto Vehicle Hold. We can turn that system on, and while we're driving, we come to a stop at a stoplight, it'll detect that we've got our foot on the brake and we're stopped for a few seconds. It will automatically hold the vehicle in place, so you can take your foot off the brake pedal and the car won't, the Ascent won't accelerate. It's a driver fatigue relief system, so you don't have to keep holding your foot in position. It's very nice. As soon as you touch the accelerator, the brake will release and off you go. So very nice feature. We have auxiliary input. We also have 2 USB ports here, electric parking brake, and overall nice clean design on the Ascent, very family friendly, very designed to be easy to use when you've got a lot of things going on in the back of the vehicle. Speaking of having a lot of things going on in the back of the vehicle, we also do have the ability to drop down and have a fisheye lens mirror that looks into the back, so if we need to keep our eye on passengers, we can do that. And this also comes down and allows you to store your sunglasses as well. Neat feature that's available only on the Touring is an electronic rear view mirror. So a lot of times we're going to have a lot of folks in back or cargo in back that may obscure our view out the back window with the rear view mirror. You simply flip this forward and you'll get a digital camera view that looks out the back and essentially duplicates what you would see with the lens of the mirror itself. So very nice feature, but exclusive to the Touring model. And then of course we have this enormous panoramic moonroof, which we can slide the shade back, leave the glass closed, so everybody can get a little bit of the all-important vitamin D, especially this time of year. And then if we do want to slide the glass back, we can do that as well. And then one final point on the Touring, this vehicle does have a heated steering wheel, so the switch is right here. We just simply pull towards us, and this area of the wheel will be heated. So very nice to have on a cold winter day, which unfortunately I think we're getting close to having soon. Thanks again for joining us on this very quick walk around of the 2021 Ascent Touring. Hope you enjoyed the information. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again.